Hello, everyone. I have with us today a person who is not only extremely successful in IT, but also is successful in taking care of his mind and body. And what I mean by that is he understands the fitness. Uh, and what I mean by fitness is that he's a runner. He's been running for last 14 years. He has participated in half marathon, full marathons, and ultra marathons as well. So let's welcome Mr. Amit Datta. Amit, thank you so much for joining this conversation. Thank you for this talk show, which is extreme gratitude. Thank you for your time and welcome.
Thank you for having me on your talk show, and very kind words. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Amit. We'll start with some basic questions, Amit. My first question is about, so as I said, you are running for last 14-15 years, and if you could explain your journey with different milestones, like, okay, in first couple of years you did this, then, for next few years you did something like that.
Sure. So running is not natural to me, to be honest. So as you said, 14 years back, I joined after work running club, which was like, doing 5K once in a week. And I joined that with an enthusiasm that, probably I will be able to, smash 5K in no time. I have the energy, I can do it very easily. And what I realized in my first run, Advait, was I stopped for 11 to 12 times in that 5K distance. That's when I realized, how my body is weak, how my energy is so low. And since then, probably, I have just taken a challenge saying that, I would like to continue this. So I continued 5K.
So Amit, when you say 5K, I mean, I believe it's a technical word for only those runners can understand. So if you could explain what is 5K?
Yeah, 5K is 5 kilometers.
Okay.
5 kilometer distance. So it was kind of a loop around a park.
Okay.
And I said, right, I stopped probably 11 to 12 times. And that was an eye-opener for me. And I was like, before the run, I was like, very confident. After the run, my confidence went completely down. But one of the things that I realized is like, this is an opportunity for me to build my energy and stamina. So I continued that club for another, 2 years, and I slowly built my stamina. So instead of, 11 to 12 stops, it reduced to like, 9 to 8 stops, then 5 stops. And then, one day I was doing 5K without stopping. So that was an achievement. And I continued that for almost 5 to 6 years. So once in a week, I will go out and do 5 kilometers. And that was my, start into running journey. And what I realized also that, that I wanted to build something later on. I was getting bored with, once in a week run. And I used to live in London, a place called Harrow. It was a greater London. So London is divided into, different zones, and it was in zone 5. And London being a city very densely populated, you couldn't find like, running paths or cycling paths. You will find parks over there, but they were very small as well. So I think it was 2014-15, I moved to a place called Reading. And Reading had absolutely fantastic running, cycling facilities. And I was in love with it. So I started increasing my distance. So once in a week, I used to go out in Harrow. So I started twice in a week, then thrice in a week. And then I joined an event called Reading. Sorry, not Reading. It was Shinfield 10K. And I did my first 10 kilometers distance in Reading. And it really gave me more confidence that, I can build from here. And slowly, I then built up my number of runnings per week, built up my mileages from 10 kilometers. I increased to 11 kilometers, 12. And then I thought, why not, do half marathon, which is 21 kilometers, 13.1 miles. And I did then my first half marathon, probably around 2015-16 time. I don't remember the exact year, but that was the transition, and I really loved it. And I was like, falling in love every year with this running distances, and that's how I continued my running journey, my running cadence per week.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happened in 2017 when I was looking for something to celebrate my 40th birthday. And that's when I started asking, like, my wife, my daughter, what should I do for my 40th? And, should we arrange a party? Should we go out for vacation? Or how do we celebrate? And they said, you love running. And if you want to make it memorable, pick up something which you have never done in your entire life. And that's when I did my first marathon on my 40th birthday. I picked up a marathon distance, which I have never done in my whole life. And then I did it. I absolutely did it. So that is my first marathon. And then I said, right, running is very, very, very addictive sport, if you want to call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's, if you like it, you will fall in love with it. You want to do it more. Mm-hmm. And I think what I realized as well is, like, there were a lot of benefits attached to it. So, I was doing more and more into it. Mm-hmm. And then, I did 10K, half marathon. I was looking for next challenge. Then I started looking for ultra marathons, which is more than marathon distance, which is, 26.2 miles is marathon distance, or 42 kilometers if you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And anything which is more than that distance is ultra marathon, whether you do 43 kilometers, 50 kilometers, or anything. So I was trying to then increase my distance. And what I realized about ultra marathons is there is no pressure. Mm-hmm. There is no pressure in terms of, with 10Ks and half marathons, when you do that, people will say, okay, in what time did you finish it? With ultra marathons, people don't ask that. People just say, oh, have you finished that? Because it's a long distance, right? Mm-hmm. You're challenging your mind and body. So that's how, I started doing it. And so these are the different milestones that I have achieved over last 14 years. Mm-hmm. And I hope I continue running it. I'm not sure about achieving more milestones, but, it's more about exploring, running. I'm learning running things every day when I go out and meet my running friends, running mates. Mm-hmm. And I pick up something every now and then. And that is very challenging. And that is what I want to continue to do that.
Right. And so, like, how many ultra marathons you have run so far? Like,
not many, I would say. I would have done probably around 10.
10? Okay. Nice. But I believe from whatever you explained, I think the best gift that you gave to yourself on your 40th birthday was this one, right? So that was really cool milestone, I believe.
No, absolutely. I think, so, if you want to make it memorable, right, what are the things that you do? You do things which you love. And probably the suggestion from my wife and daughter, I think, made it very clear that is the best gift that you could give to yourself.
Right.
And I will cherish it for the rest of my life. That, what I did on my 40th is something that, has really helped me for the rest of the years as well.
Right. Okay. Amit, my next question is about, of course, it's a long journey and you must have faced a lot of challenges, probably some injuries or, whatever, something, If you could tell us about that, how were some challenges you faced and how did you come out from that?
Sure. So talking about the 40th birthday celebration, I said I picked up this marathon distance, which was, a completely out of my league, before that. And I did it, which is fantastic. But actually, I did it without, proper training. I did it without proper thinking, what are the things which is required for that long distance. And that's when, I got into injury phase for the first time in my life. So, you do 10K, fine. You do half marathon. You can still do it with your, average body fitness. But marathon is something which is, requires body fitness mentally and physically both. And it's very, very important that you do things which is supported for that distance. So after that marathon, I actually suffered my knee injury, and it what it meant for me was I was limping. I was literally limping on my one leg, and I used to go to office, and people used to ask, "Oh, why are you limping?" I didn't realize that that marathon had that injury on me, and then I started reading a lot about injuries. Started reading about what are the things you need to do to get rid of this injury first, but second, more important, how to be injury free while want to continue running. And that's where I realized how important warm-ups is before going out for a run. Whether it's 1 kilometer or 100 kilometers, you have to do warm-up. Then how important cool down is as well. So after you finish your run, how important to do the cool downs is. And that's what I started doing it slowly. But my knee injury was still there, so I started doing a lot of exercises. I used to go out for early morning walks. I started doing physio. I started doing other stuff which was really helpful. Other thing that really helped me was also thinking about diet. So it's just not about training. It's not about doing the things which is required for long distance, but it is the diet as well. What are the things that you need to eat before the run or drink before the run, and what are the things that you need to have after your run as well.
Right.
And that really helped me to come out of the injury phase, because I was reading, I was watching video, I was doing physios, I was doing exercises, I was concentrating on diet, and that really helped me to come out of my injury. And that's when I also realized how important it is to just focus on these items day in, day out. As I say, right, whether it's 1 kilometer or 100 kilometer run, you have to follow these nuances, and they are so important. So I started doing that, and it took me 1.5 years time, to be honest, to come out of that injury after my first marathon. And it was painful because, as I said, right, I was absolutely in love with running, and it was preventing me to go out and do runs. But what I realized is and I was telling myself, focus on the basics, Amit. Focus on your core. Build the core, strength, stamina, and then you will get plenty of time to do your runs in future. And that's what I did. It was very frustrating, I would say, and I would say nobody should have that kind of running injury. Every runner who is listening, they might know what that running injury means and how painful it is, just not physically but mentally as well. So I took that time off, just focusing on those important things. And after 1 year, I started again slowly building up my runs. Right. And that's when, I started thinking about what are the things that I need to do next.
Right. But did you get professional training for this, or you did on your own only?
No, I did it on my own. I say, right, a lot of reading. So I read a lot of books about running. I read a lot of, fitness books. What are the things needed? How to strengthen your legs, your calf, your thigh muscles, which is called quad muscles, your glute muscles, which is your hip muscles, which is so important for running. Small things which are so important for your strength, for your distances, and how they help you to sustain that long distance. And that's what I started concentrating. And that's when I came across a training course by England Athletics Body. And that's where I started reading about it more and more, how a trainer or a coach could help a runner or somebody who is
aspiring,
a beginner, and somebody who's aspiring or wants to get into running. So I started reading a lot about it, and that's where a lot of thoughts and ideas came in for me to get into coaching.
Right. But now you are yourself a coach and you are training people, right? So
that's right. So as I said, right, I was reading a lot about it. I did the course from England Athletics Body, and that's where I learned how important it is to focus on your each and every muscle. Warm-ups. Warm-ups means it's just not about going out for a walk. There is a technical aspects which is linked to it. Before run, you have to raise your heart rate, you have to raise your temperature, you have to mobilize your joints, activate your muscles. It's so important. There are different techniques that you do it, and that's what I was learning about. Same with cool downs. Once you finish your run, your body temperature goes down. So how to control that? How to keep supplying that oxygen and blood circulation after your run as well. So those are the techniques that I was looking after, and that really helped me as a leader in running fitness. That is the coaching license that I got. And that's where I realized that the things that I have learned in last 3-4 years time, how do I then pass on to others who are new to running, or who are in a similar state that I was as a injured runner. How do I transfer that knowledge and help others? And that's when I decided to have this license, and I started sharing that knowledge. And as I said, right, it's a leader in running fitness. That means what I do is I conduct a lot of group activities where I focus mainly on the core activities, warm-ups, cool downs, what are the things that you need to have. I said diet is very, very important, though this license doesn't talk about diet, but from my experience I can always share. And then it is a group that I generally take, which is Couch to 5K. That is, people who have never run before, they want to get into running, they can get into running through the program that the NHS or the National Health Service of UK has, and they can get into running in 9 weeks time. So they are not a runner on day one, but on the last day of the 9-week program, they would be able to run 5 kilometers without any injury, without any other support which is required.
Right. So basically it's a step-by-step guide, or some coaching that you give.
That's right. So it's a group activity. We meet once in a week, and then I share the plan with them. They have to do other 2 runs in the week by their own, or they can do it in group as well. But once in a week I go and explain what we are going to do today, and then what the week plan looks like. And then basically it's from the Couch to 5K program only. And then they go out and smash their runs. And I track their journey in a week. If they have any questions or queries, I'm always there on WhatsApp, phone, or they can always ask when we meet in person once in a week. And that is how I help and build their running journey from Couch to 5 kilometers.
Does it include like some mind exercise, probably some meditation, or some different things that can actually help to have that mindset for a long run, right? So
no, absolutely, you're right. There is nothing like a meditation or anything, but running is 90% mindset and 10% physical. I always say it to everyone. I will say it to myself as well. It's 90% mindset, 10% physical. What it means is whatever distance you are going to do, your mind is going to take you there, right? And physical aspects, your body, your legs is going to support it. So you have to train your mind. That's very, very important. So one of the things that when I do this program, Couch to 5K, or when I talk to running people, I say whatever your goal is, right? Write it down on a piece of paper and put it on the wall, or put it on the door, which you are frequently using. At a subconscious level, it really helps. That goal just sets in your mind, and then your body then adapts to it, and that is how it works. So when I do Couch to 5K program, I say to everyone that write something on the wall, says that I'm able to run 5 kilometers easily, and that's really helps. And that really helps. I do it myself as well. Whatever goal it is I set, I generally write it down, and it really helps the subconscious mind. So that is the the mindset thing that I suggest. But different people have different ways of tackling it. They don't require that kind of mindset preparation, but it's more about consistency and regularity, right? You can't say that, oh, I have to get up in the morning, but if I don't get up today, I might do it tomorrow or day after tomorrow. You can't have that thing. If there is something that you have planned to go out for a run, say tomorrow I want to go out for a 6 a.m. run, 5 kilometers, you have to do that. And that's very, very important. Consistency is an important aspect of running and continuous running journey.
For that matter, for anything you want to achieve.
You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Okay, Amit. So now coming back to those marathons, different kinds of marathons. For half marathon, full marathon, and ultra marathons, how the preparation look different for each of these things? If you could tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, the preparation is like, I really want to do that distance. You should be convincing, enough to book that distance or the event for yourself. So if you think, for example, if you want to do half marathon, just don't think about it. Go ahead and book that event. So for example, if I want to do a London marathon, I would have to, first of all, book that event. That's it. That means your goal is set. You know the goal, whether it's 12 months from now, 6 months from now, or 6 weeks from now.
Right.
You've set the goal. You can't, back out from that goal. You have invested money. That's it. That's the first thing I say to everyone as well. First, go ahead and set your goal. Second is, obviously, there is preparation going on. So, for example, if you select half marathon, marathon, ultra marathon, you select or you basically introspect what your fitness level is, right? For example, if you have never done marathon, you at least need 6 months of training time, right? If you've never done ultra marathon and you have never done marathon, at least you need 1 year of time, right? So you need to have that kind of understanding for yourself. You have to be very honest and transparent about your own abilities, right? You can't just get up in the morning and say, I had a dream, I want to run a marathon. You can't do that. There's a lot of work that goes in. Otherwise, you will end up with what I did in my first marathon, right? Injury. And that's what you don't want. So the preparation is, there are different training plans which are available, right? You can search on internet these days. I think there are brilliant plans which are available depending upon your ability. When I say ability, how much what your speed looks like, how much you can run, what time you need it. So you pick up that training plan. It could be a 6-month training plan, and then you work to that training plan, right? You have to devote yourself to that training plan. So generally for half marathon, because I have been running, for last 14 years on and off. And since last 6-7 years, I've been running constantly 4 or 5 times a week. And so that means I know my fitness level. So if I want to do a marathon, probably I just need another, 4 to 6 weeks of time for myself. Somebody who is, as I said, right, doing it for the first time, they might need more time. But training plan is the most important. You have to stick to the training plan and, just follow that training plan. Believe in the training plan and things will start falling for you. It will really help you to build that stamina slowly and slowly. For example, when you're doing training, you don't go say you want to do a long run, which is 10 kilometers. The next week, you don't jump your long runs to 20 kilometers. You build your training 10%. You increase your training by 10%. So if you've done 10 kilometers, the next week you will increase to 12 kilometers, and then 14, and then 16. So you build slowly. The reason is you want to train your mind and body together, right? You want to sync them up. And that's very, very important. Otherwise, what will happen is, like, if you go from 10 kilometers to 20 kilometers, your body says, no, I can't do that. Your mind says, let's do it. And there is no sync. And that's when, things start falling apart. So you have to train your mind and your body at the same time. And that's where you have to train it very slowly. 10% is the rule that generally I follow, because it really helps me to, build the distance slowly up, but also not damaging my physical aspect very much, right? I'm not going out and churning out very hard and saying I want to do that 20-kilometer distance from 10 kilometers.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then you also mentioned about some different marathons, like this Tough Mudder Challenge, and that was one another also. What was that? I don't remember that the name.
Goggins.
Yeah, David Goggins.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So. There are different challenges in the running world, and people are, coming up with different challenges. How to challenge your mind and body. So Tough Mudder is basically, it's not a running challenge, but it's a kind of an event where a group of people come together and they challenge themselves to finish 10-mile run. But within the 10-mile run, you have different obstacles. So the one that I did was a full Tough Mudder. It was a 10-mile running distance, and we had 24 obstacles. I think I can give you an example. One of the obstacles was you slide down into a tank which is full of ice and water. So it's called Arctic enema. So you're already running. Your body temperature is already up, and then you completely go down into a cold water which is full of ice. It's not good for your mind and body. There is a shock that you get. So this is one of those obstacles. The other obstacle is there are electric wires which are hanging from the ceiling, and you have to run between those electric wires. So you get shock. In your hand, in your body, whatever it touches, and you have to do that. So there are different challenges or obstacles which are quite tough for your mind and body, and that was a Tough Mudder. And to be honest, I think we did the Tough Mudder for a very close friend of mine, and who's an ex-colleague who passed away in 2018 because of brain tumor. And we wanted to do something for him, and we thought Tough Mudder would be something that would be a kind of a memorable event for him. And we were raising money as well. We were raising money for a charity called Rainy Grove Hospice Care, who held this friend and his family throughout the process when he was going through the tough period. So we wanted to do that. So that was Tough Mudder, but that was kind of a running come obstacles challenge. The second one was I did recently, which is Goggins challenge. Now it's very interesting. It's a different kind of ultra challenge. So I said, right, ultra is something which is more than 42 kilometers.
You're right.
And this is a 48-mile challenge. I think it equates to 77 kilometers. So you have to do it in 2 days. But the thing is, with the traditional ultra marathons, is you start and you run that distance, you finish, right? You don't stop in between, right? It's on one go, you do that. Whether you do it in 10 hours, 24 hours, absolutely doesn't matter. But you do it in one go. Goggins challenge is different. It's you run, 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. So to break it down, in the first 4 hours, you do 4 miles. So you go out for your 4-mile run, right? You come back, you rest, and then the next 4th hour, you again go out to do your 4-mile, come back and rest. And then again, you do it for next 48 hours. So the only difference is with ultra traditional event, you're prepared, you're on. Right. Once you're on, you're off once you cross that line, right? Here the challenge to your mind and body is you don't get enough rest time.
When you go to sleep then.
Exactly. Exactly. So you don't get that time. There is context switching between raising your body temperature, heart rate, and then bringing it down and then going out. And you're right, I think there is not enough sleep or rest that you get, but you have to plan it. So I planned it. I wanted to do it for last 2 years. I couldn't do it, but this year I thought I just wanted to do it, and I did it. So it was an achievement for mind and body, and it was a tick box exercise for me that that I have done it. I wanted to challenge my mind and body as well, that whether I'm capable of doing this or not, because I said it's a different kind of ultra event.
Right. So nice. I mean, I never knew about this different kind of challenges. Okay, I knew that it's only running, a simple running, but this murder challenge and everything reminds me of that a Mario game, video game.
Right.
he used to go. He used to run, and then he has to climb, jump, and everything. But for that matter, and for you only, Amit, I'm wearing this Mario T-shirt. You can see that.
Oh, fantastic! Awesome.
Okay, all right.